Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of FAQOV with your host, Phil Freeman, where I answer all of your questions having to do with singing and speaking and using your voice in a happy and healthy way. Today's topic has to do with vocal fry, and we're going to cover what it is, why you should avoid it, and how to avoid it. And the reason why this is going to be today's topic is because I had a student over the week that was doing just fine while they were singing, while they were doing their lines for an audition that was coming up. But when they went into their conversational, voice, they started falling into their vocal fry on a very, very frequent basis. And I talked to them about it, went over what it is, why you should avoid it, and how to. And I thought it would be very useful for you out there as well, because this can prove very useful for not just singers and performers, but also content creators, entrepreneurs who are creating content for anyone and everyone around the world, especially audio content, and for anyone who wants to learn to preserve their voices and keep it from fatiguing unnecessarily. So, given that, let's go ahead and go into what it is. It sounds like bacon is frying in your throat, and you might notice people talking, and they're just like talking like this, and then eventually they'll fall into their vocal fry. Right now, I am talking in a vocal fry right now. Now, my voice is very deep, but some people's it's much higher in their voice, and they can actually start doing this vocal fry. That's what that is. And it's something that you want to avoid. The reason being is because what that is that's your vocal folds. The folds in your voice are rubbing together like this. And that's because there's a lack of breath support and a lack of compression in the places that need to be compressed. And that is something that can lead to a lot of exhaustion and needless fatigue. I know that there's a lot of people out there who have a tendency to speak in that voice and are unaware of it, who are experiencing a lack of productivity because of those issues. So with that said, the way that you can avoid this openness in the throat and to by producing that vocal fry is to do a few things. The first thing is to make sure that you have enough support from down below, that you are using your full and utter lung and respiratory capacity. That is the first thing. You start with the breath. That's very important. Also, looking at, thinking of your voice. Don't think of it here. You always want to think of it down below. Think of the solar plexus as the source of your voice. The breath is the source of your voice, and then everything else up here in the face and in the soft palate, along with the tongue and the use of your teeth and articulators, are going to determine the sound of your voice and further compress the sound. Think of yourself as an air horn. And also, it's not necessarily the amount of air that you push out, it's how you compress it. So the way that I'm speaking right now is a very compressed tone. So use that to your advantage. Think of compressing the tone. Think of pushing up rather than pushing out. And to avoid that further, that sound, be a little bit more, put a little bit more variety into your pitch. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sliding up and down in my pitch, going up really high in my speaking tone, and then coming back down to a comfortable area. I'm not going down into my basal tone, because as soon as I do that, look at where I end up. I am ending up in vocal fry. So speak a little higher in your voice, and that will actually help you stay away from that sound with the right type of breath support and compression in your voice. And I'm going to put some links in the description of this video to further delve into the voice placement as well as sourcing. It's an earlier video, so forgive me for my voice quality in that previous video. I've been, as they say, practice makes progress, and that certainly applies to yours truly as well as everyone watching this. So thanks again, everyone. I hope that all of this made a little bit of sense, and that it will help you find your voice and be able to smooth it out a little bit so you can continue to create great content, whether it's here on YouTube or you're podcasting or you're speaking in front of somebody or a bunch of people at a business conference, or you may be a performer, a singer, and an actor or whatnot. Anything that, if you're using your voice, you should be watching this content and consuming it, so that way you can better yourself and keep acting and doing and having all kinds of fun. So, given that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Phil Freeman. Thanks again for tuning into the Vocal Blueprint FAQOV, which is frequently asked questions on voice. Always remember, everybody, practice makes progress, and with that, you can go and find your voice. Take care until the next video.